Hello and welcome to High or Lows, a 5th Ed Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the world of Taraz. I'm Philip Martin, your Dungeon Master, and with me is Lizzie McPherson.
Hey, lovelies.
Next up we've got Laurie Crawford.
Hello.
By special request in the middle is Mimbo Wang.
Hey, everyone.
Then we've got Ash Mireya.
Welcome to our dominion.
And finally tonight we've got Daniel Fletcher.
Well, howdy.
Howdy to you too. Howdy as well. Previously on the High or Lows, the crew continued exploring the abandoned dwarven mining area after finding another hidden cache of supplies and taking a short rest. They passed by a burnt-out smithing area, but were able to find a fine dagger hidden in the side of a burnt-out chest in an office nearby. Brachus also briefly explored a tunnel that he saw hidden behind a collapsed wall. But other than the dagger, this area seemed mostly picked clean, so they regrouped with their cart team and continued northward. Another tunnel could be seen going right, but they chose to continue on their current trajectory rather than being waylaid by another distraction. After passing through a section of track that sloped upward for some time, the group could see an area where it leveled above. And as they approached this area, the stones above them seemed to come alive, as what appeared to be stalactites started flying and attacking the group. These creatures' attacks consisted of swarming the group and wrapping around their heads in an attempt to suffocate and crush their heads, which proved to be particularly effective against some members of the group, with Candle taking the worst of the damage. The group did eventually get the upper hand, though, and after focusing their attacks, their enemies became fewer, and party members were able to free their heads and able to attack with their sight return. Unfortunately, Candle fell unconscious after a particularly unfortunate dice rolls on his part, but was healed by Chuck before he left this mortal coil. And this is where we'll start, with Candle still heavily wounded, but with a few extra spoils to be found in the area and several directions they could go. So I think I went over the stuff that is, I don't know if you guys have added, but there's a bunch of stuff in the corner, essentially, like some spears, and a few other things. I don't know if you've gone over and actually picked through the stuff.
I don't think we've had a chance. I think we saw that stuff just as the Dark Mantle things were attacking.
Awesome. So, I'll go over. So you've come up this... I'll go over your territory again. You've come up this big incline into this level area. The track does continue in a more level direction now, but this area sort of opens up a little bit to the right into sort of a natural cave formation, but it doesn't actually continue on. It's just like a wider natural cave formation, and this is where the Dark Mantles were like nesting and they attacked you from. Now, basically, as soon as you get up to the level area to your left, this is where this bunch of stuff is sort of scattered around. You'd be able to see some bones as well. And then you can see that there's a tunnel in the cave going downward. You also have another tunnel a little bit beyond that, and on your left, still, but more in the direction you're going, and it seems to go upward.
That's not the track that we're following.
No. So there's essentially 3 ways to go. Track going the direction you've been going flat, a tunnel going downward, and a tunnel going upward. And they both seem more natural. And the tunnel going downward, this is where you see this scattered pile of like refuse, some bones.
Might as well have a bit of a look through, see what those weapons are like.
Yeah, absolutely. You go over and have a look. They seem fairly crude and composed of sort of slightly odd materials. Why don't you give me a nature check?
I can certainly try. Not terrible, 14.
Yeah, they seem to be composed of things you would find underwater and sort of a hodgepodge of different things. They're not badly made spears, but they're just a bit odd. Like, they're made of like different sea creatures or stuff like that. And like the shield in particular is made out of like, it's a large chunk of coral that seems to be like hardened. But you pick through some stuff and you find the 3 spears are quite obvious and they seem fine. There's a couple of like, there's some nets that appear to be broken. There's the one intact shield. There's some broken shields, like fragments. And there's a staff with like an odd sort of claw. Like it looks like some sort of like crab claw at the end.
Are there any ropes attached to those nets?
Why don't you go and give me an investigation? Because the nets seem to be all sort of like, some are broken, some are tangled up. You'll have to like take your time to go investigate and try to detangle these nets.
19.
19. You start detangling these nets, and like you saw, one net is sort of off to the side, and it's very broken, but it is netting material. And then you go over to this other like bigger clump, and you sort of start going through it. And one is very heavily broken, but one is still intact, or intact enough. Like there's probably a couple of little tears, but it will still function as a net. And the other one is barely broken, but might be able to be fixed.
What sort of fibers are the nets made from?
The nets would be made out of like probably like seaweed, like really like strong seaweed.
I suppose this would do.
You don't know of any type of creature that might use this kind of stuff? I might be looking at both Tweak and Candle because he lives down here.
So you can give me a sort of nature check to sort of have a think about it and like look through the weapons. History, like looking at the weapons specifically, or you could give me a medicine check looking at the bone. I'll let 2 or 3 people give me a check.
25 on my nature check to find the species that could be behind this.
Does anyone else want to roll just to say what you might know about these things from the other perspectives? Like maybe roll one of the other things.
I'll roll for the bones.
Yep.
For the medicine.
I think I've already done my roll, so
What can you roll?
15.
I think it was
15 medicine. You could do a history, Mimbo.
I don't think I have history. Do I need to have the skill to roll?
No.
19.
You're 19 nature, 19 history. I just thought to get a different perspective of what you guys will know. Okay, so with a 15 medicine, you looking over at these bones, they're definitely humanoid, but they're oddly shaped, and they're definitely some sort of like the way the skeletal build is. Like there's like sections for like gills. Like these are some sort of definitely an amphibious, almost like a fish person of some sort. With that, and then with like, as you guys are sort of discussing this as a group, your history check, Chuck, you've heard about like a few different kinds of fish people. Like there's frog people, like grung and bullywugs. Then you've got fish people like Kuatoa. What are the shark people again?
Sahagwin?
Sahagwin, and like Tritons as well. These don't seem like Tritons, so you're probably more thinking like Salguin or Kuatoa. Tweak, with your nature check, you remember specifically hearing about the goblins, that there were fish people in the waters under the mountain, and you remember hearing the word Kuatoa. And like with all the other information in mind, it seems like this was some sort of Kuatoa raiding party. Or party, you're not sure. But like with the way that the weapons are, like they seem to be hunting for something.
Were they fanatical? What did I know about the Kuatoa?
The goblins probably like avoided them for the most part. Like similar fighting styles, but different terrains. Kuatoa kept to the water, whereas the goblins sort of kept to the land. They definitely would have had scuffles, but they didn't really get along. But I mean, Kuatoa are in some ways sort of amphibious fish goblins. Like they have a lot in common, but they fight differently and they use different materials, and they're obviously amphibious.
And are these the skeletons of the Kuatoa before us?
You would appear so, yeah.
You know how fresh they are.
With the 25 nature check, how fresh they are, and the 15 medicine check, it's hard to say exactly. They've definitely been gnawed on. You have anything about that? It would appear that these things were eaten by dark mantles. That's probably how they met their demise. It's sort of hard to say. They're skeletons, but since they were eaten, at least a few months, but it could be 10 years.
I start to sniff the bones and taste the bone. Is it salty and briny still?
Not really.
Well, they had some decent things. Like this staff might be up your alley, Thistle, and this shield for you, Baracus.
Yeah. Is that a strong-looking shield as well? Is this something you just made, or
Oh no, this is one that I found on the ground. It was
found earlier?
found in this pile of refuse. It's like it was made of coral, was it?
Yeah, it's like made out of like a piece of hardened coral that has been cut and shaped into a shield, and then have a strap added to it. The strap would probably be made out of like a hardened seal leather or something.
Yeah, must have been looking down that tunnel over there. I mean, I can take a shield, but using a weapon two-handed is quite tempting to me as well. I will strap it on and see the weight of it.
Now, Thistle, obviously, you could also use this shield because it's not composed out of metal. So you have your made out of like the hardened mushroom wood. So there's sort of two non-metal shields in the group now.
And actually, you kind of look a bit. I don't know. After that fight, it doesn't look like your ability to defend is that great. So take it and.
Well, she's got a shield.
But it's not. It's like damaged.
The shield's not damaged. Your armor is though.
Yeah, your armor is not your shield.
Oh,
What type of armor did you have actually? Like, is your armor actually even doing anything? That's what I'm curious about. Because if you only had leather, then I don't think it means anything.
I think you had hide.
let me double check. Yeah, I think I have hide too.
Oh,
I
that's
think it still gives you something, but not much.
Oh no, I don't. I don't have armor.
yeah. So you'd just be on whatever your dex is +2 for the shield.
Yeah, but we had to -1 because of the damage that I got, which I thought was for the shield. So I'm now down to a 13 AC.
Does it affect the shield, or is it just armor?
I'm just double checking.
Because you might have been wearing leather, and then that makes sense for that case. Then 'Cause you
You,
were wearing armor at some point.
No, I don't think I was.
You did say that only one armor was. Well, the armor only went down once, so I hope the shield wasn't affected.
Doesn't say anything about shield. It's just non-magical armor, and the shield is separate. So it's just your armor.
Okay.
Shield is fine. But it's more a question of do you want the mushroom shield or the coral shield? Because there's a druid.
The coral shield would be kind of cool.
Well, throw me that mushroom-looking thing, and I'll see how the balance is.
There's also this staff here, which I don't think would be any different to what you have. It just looks cool. It'll go with your shield.
Well, if nobody else wants it, do you guys mind if I use it?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone else uses staffs. So it's essentially just a quarter staff, but it's got a crab claw on the end that you're not sure how to operate.
Oh, it actually might do shit.
Okay, that sounds cool. Yes, I'm more than happy to accept.
And it sort of just looks like a nice piece of driftwood that was shaped into a quarter staff, and then a crab claw. And so you have a heavily broken net, a somewhat broken net, and a intact net, 3 spears, and that's about it.
Not too bad of a haul. Now, which way do we go? Are we going to check these side passages or keep going?
I'd like a rest, but I've sort of been trying to patch myself up a little bit while y'all been looking over there.
I'll mend the somewhat broken net.
It will take a few uses of mending, but I would say that if you're not rolling hit dice, it's something you could definitely do over a short rest.
Okay. The heavily broken net I'll leave behind. It's a lost cause, that one. I'll just take the 2 nets, the functional one and the broken one.
Yep.
Well, I'd certainly be trying to take part of the short rest.
Yeah. Candle is on 5 hit.
She'll be right.
Walk it off.
Are we taking a short rest? Is that what we're doing?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, some of the groups sort of need it.
Oh, yes.
Are we doing the whole trying to identify something during a short rest as well?
You can sort of get an idea of something, like if you're spending the time to get to know it. But you won't necessarily be able to actually identify it.
Yeah, I was just more thinking about the dagger.
I think you're more like by spending time looking at an item that you think might be magical, you might learn some secrets. But I sort of want to play that out.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that it might be an idea to have a bit of a look at that claw thing, if that's operational. Thistle?
I just rolled a 7 on a short rest for my hit dice, so that was good.
What type of check would I have to do to see if the crab claw actually does something?
You could do an investigation.
Okay.
I'd probably be doing something similar with the dagger, just fiddling with it.
Yeah, like, or you could describe what you're doing, and you might get a bonus.
19.
19 investigation. So this thing does seem to have some sort of mechanism where if it's attacked in the right way, you can grab something with the claw. But the way that mechanism operates is through like a hand that is definitely configured to your hand with like more of a suction mechanism. So you're going to have to actually remake the mechanism and then figure out how to use that mechanism swiftly. Because it almost turns the staff from a simple weapon into a martial weapon, being able to use this. It's not just something you can easily do, so you'll have to train in knowing how to do it after you re-rig it for your hand.
Alright. Well, I guess that's what I can do in my short rest, try and rejig this thing.
You probably need tools. You'd need just sort of knowledge of tinkering or blacksmithing or something along those lines.
Oh, Twink!
I'm working on my nets and my face. What is it?
When you have firstly, okay, you look handsome. There's nothing wrong with your face. Secondly, when you're done with your nets, I was wondering if I could get your help with rejigging this, because I think I could be useful to use in battle when you have time.
I have tinkerer's tools that could do the job there, yes. DM, I guess, do I have time to get hit points back, fix 2 nets and her shield?
You'd have to have multiple. You'd probably need to spend an extra hour or 2, depending on how you check when.
I'll put my nets down. Anything for you, dear.
Aww.
I will work on her shield instead of my net.
Staff.
Staff, is it?
Yes.
I'll work on your staff.
Oh, bless you. Kind, beautiful man.
So, okay, give me another investigation check for Twig.
Who, me?
Yeah. Yes, you.
Ooh. 26.
26. Okay, you're looking at this stuff, which seems to be like a little bit of driftwood and then some, like, it's almost got like another piece of wood sort of fashioned around it. Although it's like hollowed out in the middle, and then there's got this claw or this bit of like rope, seaweedy rope that runs along that. It seems. Actually, this wouldn't be seaweed. This would be like probably like something from an animal, actually. And then that's got like rigged up to the crab claw right at the end.
Like intestines or something.
The problem is that the hand that, like I said, there's no actual handle for this mechanism. The way it would have worked for the Kuatoa is their fingers must have like slipped into it and like had a suction thing that they would have been able to sort of pull it as they would have attacked. So you will actually have to get in there and rig up some sort of handle for Thistle. And then you're going to have to also rig it in a way that she would like actually be able to use it effectively in combat.
Show me your hand, Thistle. Ah, yes. Your hand's a little bit larger and not quite as dainty and fish-fingered as these Katoa friends. So I will need some time on this, so I'll have to fashion it for your hand.
It's alright. I don't want to rush you.
I'll measure the fingers and palm.
Yeah, and then you're going to have to find some sort of material that you can either shape or would just work to sort of get in this little bit and then work as like a handle. And then, so when you swing the staff, you can easily get the crab claw to attach.
Would leather strappings be ideal for that?
Leather strappings could work. I don't think you have much leather. You have much leather left though. The leather bits that you used for the earplugs would be too small for this, so you'd have to go source some leather, unless you have something I'm not aware of.
No, I have a.
I mean, you might, if you had spare armor or something, you could do that. You could do something with cloth, but it will likely break.
Buckets with a hole. So it might take me a while, but I could probably tinker and fashion this into something. I have smith tools, and
I do have this pocketbook with a leather strap. I can just cut the leather strap off for you.
okay, the leather strap with the with my bucket. I think it would take a couple of hours, but I could do it.
No, take your time. I'm grateful you're helping me.
I'll start smashing up the buckets and getting the strap and making it comfortable for a hand to be fashioned in for her size.
Yeah, it is a metal bucket though, and I believe Thistle does not like. Metal weapons actually aren't as big a problem as metal armor and shield.
Yeah, it's sort of more of a well, it's for the handle, I guess, but it'll be like a combination of leather and steel, I guess, or whatever the bucket was made of, brass.
Yeah, you think it'll be possible. You'll have to get your tools, you'll have to shape it, but yeah, it might be possible. But yeah, you will need to source some leather or like look into you, see if you've got any spare leather armor that you could cut up.
Is the leather strap from the book enough, or do you still need more?
What's the book? Where'd you get that?
I think we found that back near the basilisks.
Okay.
It was just random shit we found on the floor.
Well, we found some leather armors, didn't we? That were too large for people.
Yeah, I think the Thistle's hand and the way this stuff is, because Kuator are definitely a lot shorter than Thistle, you'd need a little bit more leather. But if you had some spare armor, or something, you could try to use that. Cloth and metal might work.
What about the scraps of Thistle's old armor?
Yeah.
High or lows?
I would have kept the tailings of it. Lows?
Yes. I rolled 3. So yes, there is enough leather, like probably like around the back, on the back section, which just didn't get hit by a lot of the creature. And yeah, you can sort of manage to get some straps there. So yeah, it'll take you depending on your Tinkerer's tool check, it will take you a while. And if you're also rolling hit dice, then obviously.
So it's proficiency?
Yep, proficiency.
I got 15.
15. Okay, I'll say you're able to do it, but it's not a particularly smooth mechanism. Thistle?
Yes.
At the end of this, if you want to try to do a hit and a grab at the same time, it's going to be at disadvantage.
Okay.
And it's going to be, you're going to have to, either a combination of you're going to have to work with the mechanism, but also there could be improvements done to the mechanism, and we might reduce that penalty at some point, but it will be a while before that penalty is 0. If you just want to use it as a staff and not try to grab, that's cool. Just you smack it with the stick.
Yeah, I might just start with that first until all the other kinks work out.
But if you want to get good at the grabbing mechanism, you're going to have to train with it. So you're going to have to take the penalty. But like you're sort of swinging it, like the crab claw does open, like you're just sort of not really getting a good combination swing and grab at the same time smoothly, regularly. But that did take about 45 minutes to like sort of work up.
Twig, I'm forever in your debt.
I know. I'm keeping a log.
What about you, Callum? What are you doing during the short rest?
I'm just more or less looking at that dagger, trying to figure out what it does. Like, if it's anything more than what I've seen. Probably just fiddling with it, throwing it around, kind of. Maybe even using it to cut a bit of the wood I've got to see if it's any sharper than normal.
Yeah, okay. Give me an investigation roll. Or a smithing roll if you're good at smithing.
All I've got is wood carvers. That's straight 10.
Straight 10. It's definitely a really nice dagger. It's definitely got perfectly balanced to the point where the balance almost seems to shift as you're like stabbing with it. Like the weight seems to almost shift with your hand to the forward section, which is weird. You've never held a weapon that's able to do that. So you will definitely get a +1 to hit with this weapon. You're not sure if it's got any magical damage. It cuts the wood very well, but no better than a particularly sharp dagger.
Fair enough. Well, I guess I'll just keep using it and kind of see if I can figure out what it does.
But it's weighted exceptionally well. And it's a very nice dagger. It's probably the finest dagger you've probably not seen, but like held maybe at least for a while.
Oh, that's good. And I will use my second wind at the end of the short rest.
So I will say that that's been like you spent an hour and 45 minutes, assuming that Tweak also did like a proper short rest and rolled hit dice. Otherwise, you can accomplish all of that in an hour.
No, definitely had a short rest.
So we'd be getting into sort of the mid-afternoon now, because you've been spending a lot of time working on things and going down detours. You're not tired yet, but you know that you probably only got another 4-6 hours before you probably want to start thinking about sleep.
And we're still a good distance from a homestead.
Yeah, you're continuing sort of to find stuff. But you're also finding evidence that this area, maybe not recently, but at some point was more explored than some of the other sections you've been in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see if we can get there in the next few hours, huh? Shall we continue on? We'll keep pushing our cart along?
Yeah, well, at the least try and find somewhere a bit more defensible to rest if we have to.
Yeah, so if you're just going to continue pushing the cart on, you can stay on the track and leave these other two paths for another time or never.
Yeah, I think we could find... I think I can use my spell now. Arguably, DM. 25 feet of rope for a snare spell.
Where'd you get the rope from?
It's not a rope, but it is a net, and it is a snare spell.
I'll allow it if you want to destroy. It'll destroy the net, but you can use it to make the snare spell.
Yay!
Basically, you're gonna rip the net apart and turn it into a rope-like thing.
Oh yes. Well, no kind of is a net already, yeah.
Yeah. So it does appear that the Kuatoa came from this tunnel leading downward. You're not sure where the tunnel going upward goes. Although someone give me like either cartography check or survival check.
I could do a survival check.
Yeah, that makes sense. You've been one of the main scouts. Probably the main scout.
Oh, Callum's helped. 21.
21. It's highly likely that the path going upward leads to the mushroom forest. Maybe not straight away, but at some point.
Okay. And so that's the only way?
No, so you got down to wherever these Kuatoa came from, most likely, up to the mushroom forest, or ahead on the track.
I turn back to the group and say, what direction should we go in? Chuck, Tweak, Baracus, Callum, which way do you think we should go?
That way.
Well, the track only goes one way onward. Although there was one way where the track did go and you guys didn't explore that way. It was not the way you wanted to go.
Let's keep moving.
Okay. You're eager.
I know. Well, it's just been so long since you've met anyone from civilized society. It would be good to be in company.
That, and also your face is still kind of dripping off.
Yeah, it's hanging on there. And it would be good to get proper rest somewhere. Maybe trade?
Get some healing, and maybe they can try and.
Preferably somewhere I don't get lynched.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. We'll find out when we get there.
Okay, so you guys continue pushing the track onwards. I think we're basically the Steel Defender and Baracus are doing most of the cart pushing work, with Steel Defender chained up to the front and Baracus at the back. And then we've got sort of Tweak probably riding on the Steel Defender, Thistle and Callum in the front, Candle and Chuck in the back. Is that about right?
Yep.
All right, and you guys continue on through the track. And it goes on for about 150 feet through sort of mostly sort of natural cave formation, but you do see like the supports and such before it veers left. And as soon as you can see down the veer, you can see that there is a section of track veering to the right as well. The junction actually comes from the direction you're not going in. It veers to your right and then turns left as you follow that track, and seems to be going down, but not dramatically.
And Candle and just asked, I take it we keep going straight? We don't go down that little detour?
I think so. I think we just gotta follow the track. I've only been out here one time. It's a long time ago now. And some of this stuff has changed since then. This was before the split. But yeah, I reckon we just keep on following the track. We should be getting up. There's something up ahead, like a main junction or something. You will know it when you see it.
Yeah, well, I guess we're just ignoring the side passage and keep going. Unless anyone else wants to.
Yeah, so give me a perception check, the people in the front.
Yeah.
20.
Okay.
7.
Yeah, you're technically in the front as well.
18.
Okay, so 18. So you're sort of looking at the junction up ahead, thinking something looks odd. But Callum, when you sort of get close enough to notice it with your blind sight, you're like, someone has actually jammed this junction so that it leads the wrong way. Like something has done this intentionally.
Any tracks or any indications for what creature may have done that?
You can give me a survival or a perception.
12?
No, you can't see anything. There's no indication of when this was done either. This could have been some time ago, maybe recently, but it kind of feels like it might have been some time ago. Someone could investigate, sort of try to get more evidence of what was done.
Tweak, you're good at investigating.
Yeah, this is a mechanism kind of thing. You might be able to figure it out.
Yes, let me have a look. 16.
16. So you're looking at this, and it looks like someone has jammed it and then broken it a little bit and then done something to make it rusty at the where the junction connects.
Is it beyond repair?
No. It could just be forced, but that might do damage. You're not sure.
I'll mend it.
It'd be more than mending. You would have to actually get your tools out and chip away at this rust, or you could just try to force it.
Yes, I'll chip away at the rust. Let's not force anything. We use our heads, not our muscles. And I will get my smith tools and try to polish it up a bit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to chip and sand and rub and polish and wiggle and grease and all those things. But you can give me a tools check, like smithing or tinkerer's tools.
Plus my intelligence?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
20.
20. Okay. So now it's still, you haven't fixed it. It is too rusty to fully fix, but you've done enough work that it could be more easily forced, and you don't think there's any risk of doing permanent damage now that it's forced. But someone will still need to muscle this thing.
We'll need some muscles to get it going, but I think we've got it in a position that could be maneuvered. Who's our muscles?
Baracus and Callum.
No, just Baracus. I'm just agile.
It appears that this is the only way forward.
I could get Moa
Baracus.
to move it forward, I guess, too, but using its contraptions. Or help Baracus. Maybe use Boa as leverage. Can he help Baracus use it?
Yeah, definitely. You can have advantage by someone helping someone or something.
Give it a try. Needed that. 15.
Yeah, with advantage, and since it's been loosened up, a 15, you're able to move it, and it doesn't even make too much noise because it's been filled with the Tinkerer's stuff to remove a lot of the rust, the worst of the rust. It does seem to be mostly operational again this junction, and you can continue pushing the cart.
Now, why would somebody do that?
Many reasons.
Slow people down, make people stop and look. Suppose that's basically the same thing.
It could be wanting to redirect anything that comes down their way.
We don't know when this diversion was set. Should we set out a bit of a forward march to see if any reaction to what we just done? Maybe some stealthiness?
Yeah, Thistle and I can go on ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Just give us a yell if we need to run back.
We'll push on.
Should we put it back into position? I mean, I feel kind of rude just moving it and then leaving it in our way. They obviously wanted it that direction for a purpose.
They can fix it. But then again, they might just break it again, so might as well leave it the way they think it is.
They know people respect it, and perhaps they'll just not rust it up this time. I don't know how they did it, really. They must have thrown salt water all over it or something. Maybe we should leave them a note.
Well, that makes sense. If them Kuatoa were down in the water, maybe down that way, maybe that's how they made it rust.
But is that safe? Just to leave a note? Anybody could find that and try to find us.
Yeah, just switch it to the way it was and leave it.
Maybe we could leave them a note.
No reason to leave a note. They didn't leave a note for us, so why should we leave a note for them?
I leave a note. Without anybody seeing me. It says, "Thank you for letting us use this device. Please don't rust it again. And don't come and find us."
I think it's going to be very hard to actually get away with that in front of both Thistle and I have good perception.
Yeah, can I do a roll to see if that I see this?
Can I use a sleight of hand, or what do I use to say to you?
What are you trying to do?
I've written them a note that says, "Thank you for letting us use our device. We've put it back into position, and don't come and find us."
It would just be a stealth, not a sleight of hand.
Stealth, okay, let's do it. 17.
Anyone that's like keeping an eye for why Tweak's hanging back.
Yeah.
I mean, Thistle beats that passively.
25.
Yeah, I think you
And
saw
yeah,
that
passive
note.
21.
Okay, you see the note.
26 here.
I go to Callum. Should we just let him leave the note, or should we just do something about it, or not do something about it?
Do I hear this conversation?
Probably not, because they're like up the front.
Ugh.
If
I've
you
already
hear it,
walked away from it, thinking
Yeah.
that I've done it super stealthily, and they have no idea.
okay. If they're trying to keep it a secret from Tweak, then you wouldn't hear it. Yeah, no. But you can roll perception to see if you saw it, Chuck.
I did not.
I mean, it would be best not to leave any track that we were here.
Or could you distract Tweak, and I could maybe like.
Oh, Tweak. No notes. I'm taking that. Don't write one.
Is that what you said to me?
Yeah, I say that to you.
You let me have no fun.
Look, it's the polite thing to do. I do agree with you, but we don't want them knowing that we've gone through here. They might just damage that again, and then you'll have to fix it again.
You could snare it.
Yeah. Save the
All
net.
right. Fine, no notes. Give me back my paper.
Yeah, hand it back.
Okay. So you guys are moving along, and basically, it's the track is based the way from where you're going. The track is turned left, and then it starts veering right, and you can see after not much going down this section, it sort of veers and joins up with another section. You see another junction up ahead, and again, you're going to meet the junction. So the junction, to use the junction, you'd have to go forward and then go back. But you're gonna have to go check out this junction up ahead.
Yeah. Well, let's check it out, see if it's switched the right way or not.
Yeah, like now that you're onto it, it does not appear to be switched the right way.
This one damaged too?
Give me a perception check.
That's 2 nat 20s in a row on bloody perception check. So 26.
It doesn't appear to be.
Yeah, well, if I don't think it's damaged, I'll just pull it.
Okay.
So, the other one.
Give me one more perception check.
Now I'll roll like a nat 1, I bet. Yeah, no, 19.
As you're going to pull it, and you start moving it, as you're sort of halfway through, you notice that on the track that is moving, that there is something shifting the dirt near that track and moving, leading to the wall.
I stop and just say, can you see what that is? Like, there's something in the dirt leading to the wall. Might be a rope or something connecting to a trap.
Oh, don't say rope around Tweak. But yeah, I can go have a look.
I'll join her.
Yeah, give me an investigation roll.
From both of us?
Sure, both of you give me an investigation roll.
13?
15.
15. Okay, so you're both going over there, you're having a look at this. It does appear to be a rope buried under the dirt, which is sort of leading away, and there's sort of like, it's looped around a little piece of, like a piton, like in the corner, and then it goes up the side, sort of hidden in this sort of like craggy thing. And then you're just following it, and then like up in the like ceiling of this cave, you notice a hidden, well, it's actually it's a rock, sort of hidden in the rock. But this rope is actually sort of put in there in such a way, whereas if you pull this rope, that at least this one rock and possibly more rocks, actually definitely, it looks like at least some more rocks would be loosened and fall down.
Is there any way to take the rope without making the rocks fall down?
Probably not, but you could try. It would probably be a strength check and a dexterity check for someone to hold the rock while someone else finesse the rope out.
Could I replace it with my seaweed rope?
You'd still have to remove the rope. So what you could do is, now that you know about it, someone could try to pull the rope and then run out of the way, I suppose.
Do that if you want. I'm probably the quickest out of the bunch.
Okay. You want to take that risk?
Yeah. You've been bitching and moaning about ropes for so long.
Well, I could try to disarm. So, I mean, what would disarming this entail? I guess just going around it, but...
Oh, I mean, tripping it disarms it.
I think, yeah, it's either going to be basically a dex save to like just run out of these rocks as they get triggered, or a strength check and a dex check to sort of someone hold the, and that'd be two different people, one person holding the stone while someone else finesses the rope.
I'll finesse the rope, you hold the stone. Or somebody with strength and muscles.
Still with Tweak? Well, I think I am.
I'll try to I'll try to disarm it with that. I'll try to delay the collapse if I can disarm it slowly and give them as much time to get out of there as possible. Is that something I can do?
Yeah, like again, like yeah, you just got to have someone holding the stones, or someone else finesse the rope, or you just trigger the rope and hope to dodge the stones as they fall.
Well, that's if I could trigger the rope in a way that sort of delays the collapse of it, maybe in a way that's...
The only way to do that would be someone holding the rope. It's wedged under the stone, so as soon as that rope goes, the stones will get triggered, unless you do something to stop the stone moving.
Who's dexterous amongst us? I mean, I'm fairly dexterous.
There's a good chance I'm probably the most. That's kind of my thing.
Well, if you want to do that, who's going to take the stone?
I guess I could.
Well, Baracus is stronger.
Yeah, he's stronger than me.
Well, I think, sure, yeah, I think we should probably both hold it, or even Boa from either side. Be ready to jump out of the way.
All right, let's do this.
Okay. Baracus, give me a strength check with advantage, and then Tweak, give me a dex check.
Is it me or is it Callum that's... I mean,
Well,
I'm happy.
who's finessing the rope? If it's Callum, you can be Callum doing the dex check.
Yeah, I'll do it. Like this dice today. That's a 24 on my text check.
Okay. And Baracus, what is your strength check with advantage? Because this is help.
21.
21? Yeah. You're able to hold the stones in place, and with that, you get the rope out. Have your 25 feet of rope.
Hooray! You can do this twice now.
finally.
Liquid gold. Well, Hessian gold. Woven gold.
So we'll start clearing the stones once they've fallen?
The stones have not fallen. They're still there. There's no trigger for them to fall, but if you threw a stone really hard at them, there's a good chance that they would just fall.
Don't tempt me, DM.
You could also take the piton. There is a piton here. It's been a little bit curved, so that it sort of hammers in and held the rope as almost like a pulley in the corner.
I could do with a piton as well, but is it going to... It'll probably add to the destruction of the integrity of this structure?
It's fine. There was removing the rope isn't going to damage the structural integrity, and now the rope's been removed, you can adjust the junction as you like. It's just that if you had adjusted the junction without removing the rope, you would have triggered a rock fall. And
All right, will I get the piton as
Yeah.
well? This is a glorious day.
you have a piton.
You have rope and a pin. It's a twofer. Let's readjust the junction to the way we're going and move on, I guess.
Yeah, this one hasn't been stopped like that to stop the movement. But there does appear to be a pattern of tampering in this section.
Well, it looks like it's defending the way that we're coming from. Like a trap set to kind of go off down the way we're coming rather than the other way.
Give me an insight or a survival or just a straight intelligence check.
20 survival?
Yeah, these do appear to be stopping the way that you're going, more so.
This could be what Candle was talking about the defenses set in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, and it also occurs to you that the creatures you fought in here might also be part of that. If Candle was down here a decade ago, it's not outside the realm of possibility that someone lured some creatures down here and left them as defenses.
Well, fair enough.
Or they might have just been residents. You don't know.
Suppose we should keep our eye open for more traps like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously since you're at this junction, there is again another bit of track going off again the direction you're not going. And it seems to go westward.
Definitely have to check these out later. Maybe on the way back to the forge.
If we go back there,
We both know that Tweak will want to go back there.
We might fast forward through those moments when we do them or not. We'll see how we go.
How long is the rope, DM? Because they usually come in 50 feet.
Yeah, this one didn't need to be that long. This one's only 25 feet long.
Oh.
So only one snare trap. It's still enough for a snare trap. But yeah, if you continue on northward, the section of the floor seems to start to become better, more worked stone. And Canada goes, yeah, up ahead. I think that's that junction area. I remember. It's like a big wheel in the middle. Ah, shit. It might be hard getting the cart through this bit.
We might have to figure out the mechanism.
And you guys are essentially pushing the cart up ahead and making way to more work stone. Eventually, it almost becomes actual square stones. And up ahead, you can see a big structure, which is essentially a massive rusty cogwheel in the center of a big room with a bit of track laying on that massive cog. And Candle will say, "Yep, there's a spot." And I think that's where we'll end it. And we'll jump in next time as you explore this junction area. That's it for this episode of the High or Lows podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter at High or Lows with underscores between the words, or you can find me at Feepster.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, which is one of the best ways you can support us. You can also join the discussion on our Reddit and Facebook pages, or even our Discord server, and maybe play some games with us. Links can be found in the description below. Special thanks to Sirenscape for the background audio and Alex McPherson for providing the opening theme. I hope you can all join us next time as we continue on our adventure.